2 Kings 7:12 to 18.
I read. The king got up in the night and said to his officers, I will tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know we are starving, so they have left the camp to hide in the countryside, thinking, they will surely come out, and then we will take them alive and get into the city. One of his officers answered, have some men take 5 of the horses that are left in the city. Their plight will be like that of all the Israelites left here. Yes, they will only be like all these Israelites who are doomed. So let us send them to find out what happened. So they selected 2 chariots with their horses, and the king sent them after the Aramean army. He commanded the drivers, go and find out what has happened. They followed them as far as the Jordan, and they found the whole road strewn with the clothing and equipment the Arameans had thrown away into their headlong flight. So the messengers returned and reported to the king. 16. Then the people went out and plundered the camp of the Arameans. So a seah of flour sold for a shekel. A seah of flour sold for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley sold for a shekel, as the Lord had said. Now the king had put the officer on whose arm he leaned in charge of the gate, and the people trampled him in the gateway, and he died, just as the man of God had foretold when the king came down to his house. 18 says, it happened as the man of God had said to the king, about this time tomorrow, a seah of flour will sell for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley for a shekel at the gate of Samaria.
Thank you. In the eye of our leader, that's what we are doing. We are continuing with what we were doing last week. In the eye of a leader, and I remember we went until I think the scripture which was leading us was the one which we were beating the plowshares into. You remember beating the plowshares? Yes, and the sickles into swans. Yeah, and we looked at a 5 P's in leadership, and we started with possession, and we looked at the downside or the the advantages of the possession or the title, and we are to continue from there. But before we go to the disadvantages of being in a possession or disadvantages of you being called a title in leadership, I would love us to explore this scripture, which is 2 Kings 7:12 to 18. It's a story about the siege at Samaria, and I just want to pick 2 things from there. That when the information went that the 4 lepers gave that the camp of the Arameans was empty and they can go and eat, they should not die, the king opened his mouth and said, I know. Listen, I tell you what is happening. That's verse 12. In other words, he's telling them, don't try to go. Wait and see. Wait and see. Because he's trying to say the Arameans are trying to use a strategy in war which was used during the time of which time was that? The city of Troy. What we usually call the Trojan horse. Yes, the Trojan horse, where the king wanted to take over the city of Troy, but was not able to take it, but decided now that we are not able to penetrate in the city of Troy, what we are going to do, we are going to come up with a big horse which is called the Trojan horse. And they put the armies inside. It is a big horse. They put the armies inside, and they went for battle, but they pretended that they have been chased away by the inhabitants of Troy. So they left the the horse outside there. And the men of Troy, men of war, decided now that we have defeated them, we can pull the horse to the city. And they didn't know what they were bringing into the city. So they brought in the souvenir to the city. And they went to sleep and celebrated. They drank and they were happy that they have chased away the enemies and they have the trophy with them without knowing that the horse was actually an armory. It was the house of the enemies. The armies were full inside there. And at night, they crawled out and they took over the city of Troy. Right? And that's the origin, because the king who took over the city of Troy fought for 10 years. You hear of the word mentor. Have you ever heard of the word mentor? Mentor was not an English word. It was adopted. Just like we have adopted isukuti to the dictionary. It was not an English word. It was a name of a person, the son to the king, who had to be left with somebody for 10 years to be taken care of. So he was called a mentor. Okay, that's a story for another day. Now, they bring in enemies without knowing. Now, the king is telling them here, this is a different story. The king is telling them, kindly, don't be in a hurry. You will be in trouble. Don't go to the Arameans' camp. Why? Because they are planning to ambush you. You get in, they ambush you. So, there is something there I want to highlight here, that the king stands for the group of people we called the other day the fixed mentality leaders. Fixed mentality. He thinks the strategy which he won by yesterday is the same one which is being used today. He has been hit using the same strategy. So he thinks even now we can't dare advance because the enemy will catch us or will get hold of us. And he says, no way, let me tell you what is happening. So he gives the theories. And those who have done some, you will know this is a defense mechanism called what? Rationalization. When you want to give reasons why things cannot be done. John C. Maxwell calls it the disease called excutosis. Disease of excuses. I don't know how many excuses we give why things cannot be done. 1,000,001 reasons why things cannot be done. Excuses. And I say it's a disease myself because I know it has symptoms. We'll get into that later. But there is this other. I told you you can be the king, but you are not the leader. A servant in the king's quarter opened his mouth and said, no, let us do one thing. Let's not wish it away. It's a growth opportunity. We can't just look at it, we get information, then we don't act on it. He says, why don't we just set a few? Because even if we remain here and they remain here, we'll still die of starvation. Why not just go and check? And he says, verse 14, go and find what is happening. Go out. So there are two things here. One is saying, hold on, don't go, wait and see. This other young man or the servant is saying, we can't hold on. Let's go and check what is happening. Two mentalities. One which is holding back and another one which is saying, I'm risking. So leaders are tied to risking. Not living a risky behavior. But remember, every opening in life is a growth opportunity. And every step we don't take forward, we are taking several steps backwards. Somebody said, I'm waiting for the right environment. I'm waiting for the right time. There is no right time. Actually, the other time I told you here, we do not wait until when the iron is hot. We hit it so hard until it becomes hot. People who are successful in life create their own environments. So if you want to be successful as a leader, create your own environment. That opportune time, that strange feeling you have been waiting for, create it. Because theories and justifications will not head us anywhere. And I'm saying this, I want you to note 6 points from that scripture we have read. A danger will always hide or shield the hidden opportunity for growth. That when you realize that there is a danger in front of you, or there is something difficult just next to you, or in front of you, or something which needs a breakthrough, remember, it is concealing or it's hiding a growth opportunity. And the moment you don't take the opportunity, you have missed a class. And that is a class of promotion for you to grow. So you need to take action for you to be able to grow. Number 2, I want you to know this, that growth is risky affair. Growth is risky affair. And you lose more if you do not take action. You lose more if you do not take action. But if you take action and fail as you move on, then we say you fail forward. I said you lose more if you do not take the chance. If you do not risk, you fail, double failure. But if you take the opportunity, even try it and you fail as you move on, you do not fail, you fail forward. Number 3, excuses are the chains that keep one held to the past. Excuses are the chains that keep one held to the past. Now, I want to say this. Past is a good place for reference, but not a dwelling place. The past is a good place for reference, but it is not a good what? Dwelling place. 4, excutosis is a word which was coined by John C. Maxwell. It's not in the English dictionaries. Excutosis is a disease whose main and the very devastating symptoms is mind paralysis. Excutosis is a disease whose main and very devastating symptoms is mind paralysis, followed by body paralysis, and finally, extinction. I said that last time. So when you find somebody, every time they are giving you excuses, they give you 1 million reasons why something cannot be done. Number 1, just notice this. Mind has already been paralyzed. The mind is paralyzed. And the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. So the mind is paralyzed. And what happens? That paralysis now spreads to the body. You find they can't do anything. They have apathy in doing everything and anything. They'll give you 1 million reasons why they cannot move on. They'll look for reasons why they cannot move on. They'll even cite examples of their grandmothers and grandparents, or even previous generations, why they cannot pursue a certain way. Because the mind is paralyzed, the body becomes paralyzed, and that leads to death of destinies. So don't tell us about a witch who bewitched you. It is you who has brought up the rottenness from the mind to the body, now to everything you do. And you find such people, when they touch something, it withers. You give them a task thinking that it will flourish, it just withers. Why? Because what they have is what they give. You can't give what you don't have. People who have life in them give life. But people who are dead within them give death. You get the point? So if your mind is just not there, then it basically means whatever you do, what the Bible tells us, do everything you do as if you are doing it unto Christ. Then if the mind is not there, the body is not there, the spirit is not there, the soul is not there, so nothing will happen. You just go there to occupy some space like an atomic molecule or marble chips in a laboratory. Just there, just to be seen. You asked us to come for fellowship, we have come. You said we come for Bible study, we are here. Presence. Presence. Finally, the easy way to decay is failure. The easy way to decay is failure to growth. The easiest way for any decay, I think you know what decay is. Decay is what you used to define in geography, mass what? Mass wasting. Mass wasting was what? Breaking down or wasting away of any rocky substance without any movement which is involved. It breaks down, but there's no movement. It is mass wasting. When you talk about mass movement, it's when it is whatever has been eroded, whatever has broken down, it moves away. That is mass movement. Rockfall, mud flow, all those. But now, mass wasting, you don't see movement. Somebody is actually wasting away, and a very good example of mass wasting is rust. Kutu. Rust. Kutu. You see, you have placed a very new knife somewhere. It gets some water. What happens? It starts rusting. Where does that rust come from? It is iron reacting with oxygen. It wastes away the metal, right? But there is no movement. It is there. I want to tell you this. A skill which is not used wastes away just like the skill which is being used. So don't tell us you are preserving, you are conserving the energy. No. I remember one time, I told kids in class, you need to work hard. They told me, sir, we can't work hard. We are conserving the energy. I asked for what? For exams. Then I wanted to get to know exactly what they meant. Why can't you work harder in what I'm telling you? Because, sir, you told us whatever you are teaching us now is not coming in exams. So basically, they were conserving energy. Then the other day, I asked in class, the same class, I asked them, now, you told me you are conserving energy. How many camels do I have? All of them agreed they were camels. Because there is a point. A camel does what? It will take water once a month. Then it will conserve that water throughout the month. So I don't know, as leaders, as a people who have been created by God with potential, what conservation we are putting in us, which angel you want to come here and tell you, now you are a leader, now can you go and lead? Excuse me, there is something which needs to happen. Move it. We say change that potential into kinetic. Let the wheels of leadership roll. Let it, when we see you, even if you are not called by a title, when we see you or we hear you, we know that's a leader speaking. Because even if you don't use the potential which you have as a leader, the deposit which has been put in you, it is still wasting away. Disadvantages. Disadvantages. Having a leadership position is often very misleading. Having a leadership position is often very misleading. Remember, a position will always promise more than it can offer. You hear somebody called senior minister, and you think even in the services there is that seniority. But when you go down, deep down, you realize that it does not offer as the office dictates. You hear somebody being called chairman. Chairman means he's chairing. He is a custodian of power, but he's giving 10% of his power. Disadvantages. That's why I said, when you are called a name, it is you to sit down properly, prove that you deserve that position by giving it 101%. Why do I say 101%? Is there something like 101%? Which one? Which? Yes. 101% basically means this. I give my 100%, you give your 1% as a follower, that is 101%. But you see, I told you this other time. Some people, when they are given titles, they become bosses and dictators. So they offer 99%, or they offer 1%, the followers offer 99%. 100%, right? They should be the other way around. Leader, lead. Now, the same on the same, the first disadvantage, we are saying that there is a danger in defining leadership as a noun. I'll tell you that. I know you didn't like that from 2 Acts too much, but I'll come down to it. That there is danger in defining leadership as a noun. Noun means it's who I am. It needs to be defined as a verb, doing what I do. And that's why we usually say, do not merely respect the person who is leading. Respect their office. It is what they do. We recognize you by the impact you make, not by how you keep your hair, not by how you smile. No, it's what you do. Smile will fade away, but your works will never fade away. Okay. Number 2, leaders who rely on possession to lead often devalue people. They devalue people. They don't honor people. They don't recognize people. If they are bosses and dictators, do you think they will value any person? Do you think they acknowledge other people? No, they will not. They actually throw away people and relationships in favor of possessions. They don't care about relationships. They don't care about how well we are getting along. They care about what they are getting from the possession they are in. They look at people as burdens, liabilities, or problems. So I want to pause there and ask you and ask myself, do you look at people as problems? When you see that call, do you say again? When you see that call coming, do you turn the phone the other way? Do you see others as burdens? Do you see them as problems? Do you see others as liabilities? Then, if you do, you need to check on your possession of leadership. 3, possession leaders feed on politics. They feed on politics. Why do they feed on politics? I'll tell you. Because they don't value relationships, nobody opens up to them. We looked at Johari widow, and we said Johari widow is actually a model of feedback where you enlarge the open area to reduce the blind spot and to reduce which other area? The private stuff. You reduce it. You reduce it, you enlarge the open area. And you can only do that if you value people. If you don't value people, you will have a very small what? Open area. And a very huge blind spot. Because people know about you, but they gossip about it. They will never tell you. They will laugh at you. They will never laugh with you. So it's a two-edged sword. You value people, they give you positive feedback. You don't value them, they will tear you down with your weaknesses. You value people, they will dress your weaknesses. You devalue people, they undress your weaknesses. So it's too high a liability for you not to value people. John C. Maxwell has written a book, How to Win with People. About 600 pages, How to Win with People. He's giving people soft skills to have profitable relationships, which are not necessarily romantic relationships. I said that again, and I will continue repeating that. Because not all relationships end up to be romantic. So if you see me pushing with somebody, don't think this thing, excuse me. Not all. It is winning with the people. And don't always actually twist it. People can walk and have a business meeting over a cup of coffee and are not talking about romance. People can be walking outside too, a pair, male and female, doing evangelism. Don't twist it. They will start something which is not even there. I know of a manager like that who is not in contact with the people, and therefore, in that institution, he waits for gossip. And when that gossip comes, he makes his own thing. He creates his own story. And he will come and tell you, you know, I hear. This is what you are saying. I hear. But there's nothing. Actually, you tell him, bring a witness. He tells you, no, let's leave those matters alone. But you know, what I've heard is that. And you know it's a lie. Politics. They focus more on control than contributions to the institutions. So they will call meetings. We call them meetings, firefighting meetings. They will call meetings to show that they are in control. And they tell you, if you cross this line, what we were saying the other day, they give you rules and regulations. If you cross this, if you don't give your report by this time, my friend, consider yourself fired. So they want to control. And when they have that power, I told you they walk like peacocks. Huh? So when you see them, uapisha wapite. Politics. They work to gain titles and appreciations. If they do something for you, they do something for the institutions, for the institution, if you don't clap for them, you have lost them. Huh? It is their effort. It is their work to be seen. It's an advertisement. And if you don't acknowledge what they have done, you have lost them. So they will withdraw slowly. And when you ask them what hurt you, why you not doing what you are supposed to be doing? But even the other time when I did, you did not see it. You never see the good thing we do. Hmm? You only complain of the mistakes we have made. Hmm? Have you ever heard such people? Chairman amesema ashawaiona watu. And I pray that they are not amongst us. They fear gains of others as they see a loss on their side. So when they hear you have gone ahead and you have been recognized, for example, I'll give you a good example. You have been recognized. You're in the worship team, then you lead the worship very well, or it's your first time to lead the worship, and the bishop says, that's very good, daughter. And you have never been told that yourself. You feel, goodness, I have to look for ways of kunyonga huyu jamaa. Because you feel it was your possession, not their possession. So you feel appreciation of others is like a loss to you. Yeah? Have you even not seen it on the WhatsApp? Huh? You post something and everybody comments. 11 out of 11 people comment. When you put yours, 2 people comment. You say, no, you start fighting the one who had 11 comments. Because you think your loss, their gain is your loss. That is a wrong mentality. We are not in competition. And I say this and I repeat again. In leadership, we are not in competition. The only person you are supposed to compete with is yourself. Compete with yourself. Bring out the best out of you. That is how you grow. Growing is not comparing yourself with the other person. We are unique. Improve yourself until you can't improve yourself anymore. They are the manufacturers and sole custodians of strife. They will talk about strife. They will tell you about divisions, but they are the sole custodians. They are the manufacturers and they are the sole custodians. Strife. Strife is that one I'm telling you, unfair competition. They are always competing. If they hear you being told you are smart, they feel like you are. There's something which they feel like they want to kukunyongea hewa. You do kiwaru. Yes. They want actually to squeeze you, to squeeze that appreciation which you are given, they take it themselves. Huh? So if you notice something like that in your leadership, you need to grow up. You need to remove those gumboots. Huh? Put all-weather shoes. Put on all-weather shoes. Because mud boots will get stuck in mud. And they are only seasonal. Stop being moody. Appreciate people with an open heart. Hello? Now you see the number has reduced. I know the next one, the number will increase. Number four, I think, yes, number 4, there's quite a number, there are 8. Number 4, positional leaders place rights over responsibilities. They place rights over their responsibilities. They place rights over their responsibilities. So they don't value what they are called to do. They don't value the work they are supposed to be doing. What they value most is the title they are given, the rights. As a leader, you are supposed to respect me. When I come for your occasion, actually you're not supposed to, I'm not supposed to see you inviting me with a group. You need to invite me personally. Rights. They value rights. And they will even fail to come for your event because you did not tell them personally. They value rights more than responsibility. Because as a leader, responsibility, you need to attend to your own people. But you have placed your rights too high. You can't go for a member or a colleague's event because you are not called personally. You saw it on WhatsApp. It's your responsibility. Don't elevate rights too high until we forget we have relationships. I'll be very happy to know that you are graduating and I come and you are not inviting me. You see me. Actually, the Bible says, if there was something which you had planned evil or something which you had thought evil, I am putting charcoal on your head. So it's you, not me. I don't have a problem with you. You did not invite me, but I knew. So I come. I celebrate with you. I'm a VP. Evil. So they desire to feel good and have authority. That desire to feel good has killed so many people. That feeling, the feeling of feeling good. They say, when people have big offices, people who clean the office, you know what they do? When you are not there, they use your seat and they take photos, and then they forget it's not their seat, they post it on profile, Facebook. So, if you realize, I saw one who was being sacked for sitting on the seat, taking a photo and posting on Facebook. And the cleaner went. Because the boss felt what's the problem with you sitting on the seat and taking a photo? That's where you work. But you see, there are people who value the feeling of good and the authority. They think you have signed. You have not taken my signature to sign in document while seated on that seat. It's physical. Half of the harm done in the world is caused by people who want to feel important. It is not caused by atomic bombs. Half of the harm which has been done all over the world has been done by people who want to feel sweet about themselves and feel important. That if they come for a meeting, they have to be recognized. If you are speaking, you have to quote what they said. They develop a sense of entitlement. This one I wanted to say, sense of entitlement. When you develop a sense of entitlement means you are there, and nobody else can do what you are doing, and nobody can touch you, and nobody can question you. Whether you do or you don't do, nobody can question you. And if anybody dares to ask you, they will know your middle name. These people expect to be served. They are not servant leaders. So they are in possession to be served. They value territory over teamwork. Territory means, which area am I controlling? This is my area as a chair. This is my area as a treasurer. These are the boundaries, you see, territory. They value that territory over what? Teamwork. So they will not go out of the way to help a friend who is missing. They want their absence to be felt. They want their failures to be seen. They want their weaknesses to be exposed. They don't want to stretch a hand and help a brother or a sister. That's not leadership. That's a position. And it ends. It expires. It's a great sign of maturity. Okay, a great sign of maturity is when a leader changes his focus from his right to responsibility. Should stop enjoying authority for its own sake to using authority to serve others. Yes. Number 5, positional leadership is lonely. Yes, this one, I need to hammer it. And remember, leadership is all about relationships. So if you don't value people, they will be saying, as you go up, you become lonely. Last time I told you, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes, right? You'll be feeling hot up there, and guys are hot here. So you have elevated yourself just like Lucifer. You want to be seen, and you have left the multitude down here. And I said, value the people as you move up. Because the same stairs you use, the people you use to climb up, you may require them when you are coming down. Paul says, those who start, let them take care. Not those who are falling. Because they may come down. And the people you are stepping on are the people who will hold on you. It is very lonely up there if you do not value relationships. Mental health is an issue today to the leaders at the apex. Why? Because they don't have people to open up to. Because they stepped on them. And I said last time, they are not confidential, and there is no trust between them and the other people. So they can't open up. So they mistrust everybody the way they know they can't keep secrets. They also fear, if I tell you my problem, you'll also share it out. Trust and confidentiality. Loneliness up there. I want to pose a question here, because I think I've talked too much. I want to pose a question. Why do you think turnover is too high for position leaders? Why do you think turnover? Turnover means they don't keep the followers. Followers keep on leaving them. Why do you think turnover is too high for people who value position? Actually, we say people don't quit companies. People quit companies of people, leadership. They leave people. People leave people. They don't leave companies. Yes. So, basically, these kind of people will attract 4 people, 3 types of people in their lives. Number 1, I'm saying this, positional leaders will attract 3 types of people in their lives. People who will never leave them. All the others will leave them. Like myself, if I realize that you are more concerned about possession, I will leave you. But there are people who will not leave them. 3 people. Number 1, the clock watchers. Clock watchers. Clock watchers. They are with you, but they are checking. Anytime, they are checking. So we say, unasema, before noon, they will check the clock. Why do they check the clock before noon? They are counting how many hours they have been with you. From the time we reported, now before noon, from 8, 9, 10, 11. So they are counting hours. So your presence has bored them. Actually, they don't want to be with you, but they are counting. How many hours, boring hours have we been together? From the time I came here, how many hours have I been here? And you hear them even in companies. How many hours have you been here working? But do you realize that if you enjoy your workplace, you can never count the number of hours you have been there? So people make us hate the workplaces. So ukisikia mshirika akikwambia na tulikunja hapa mapema, unjue kuna kashida mahali. Are you getting my point? So you can also gauge your leadership skills by how you are able to draw people and their attention. So jamaa wanaangalia, tumekaa hii mkutano bwana. Yaani tumekuwa hapa masaa 3. Instead ya watu watoke aya tumekuwa huko 3 hours. Yani people should realize after they have gone, not when they are still in the meeting. So when they check their clock before noon, they are saying whenever they look at the watch, they think in terms of how long have we been here. And after lunch, it is how much time they have left to go home. So the clock in general also reminds them of the most important times of the day, break time and lunch time. Number 2, people, they will attract just enough employees. Just enough. Just enough. Just like their leaders, they rely on their rights and use the limits of their job descriptions to do only what is required of them. Nothing extra. Did you ask me to do a report? I'll just do that. Full stop. Did you ask me to report to the office at 8 o'clock? Just do that. Did you ask us to come to church with notebooks and we write notes? I'll just do that. But those notes, I'll never read them. Just enough. Finally, number 3, the mentally absent. Mentally absent. Mental turnover and sloppiness are contagious twins. You will be with them, but they are not with you in the mind. They already, actually we say, before people check out physically, they check out mentally. And you'll be talking with them, they'll be telling you, yeah. And if you ask them what you have said, actually, there's one person I value much because tells me that, when you are talking things which I don't want to hear, there's something called selective amnesia. As soon as I've heard it, I delete it and I forget about it. And then when you ask me tomorrow what we were talking about, I delete it so I can't remember. Because I was not there with you. Selective amnesia. People are with you, but you are alone. You attract a generation after your kind. There are few things you need to do to be where you want to be. Number 1, you have to make a decision as a person. This is where I am. Then see yourself, be proactive. In 5 years, this is where I see myself. I went for interview once and I was asked, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? An interview. I said, I don't see myself here. They asked again, do you understand our question? Yes, I said, you asked me, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I told them, I don't see myself here. I told them, it's you now to ask me the next question. Where do you see yourself then if you not be here? Because their question was, what developments will you have made in this institution? But I'm deliberately telling them, if I reach 5 years here, it will be a miracle. So you need to see yourself ahead of time. And don't give hopes which are not realistic. If you can't see yourself, don't give promises because you want a job. Tell them openly. Sinchioni hapa miaka 5 inayokuja. So they asked, so where do you see yourself? In doing what I love most, teaching, because it was a managerial job. So they asked me, so we signed a contract for 5 years. I said 4.5. Because I want to go back to teach. So I did 5 years. I added 2 years. They became 7. Then I went back to class to teach. You see, it's what you see. You see, you can't kill a dream. You know that? But you can kill it by not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't know what you want to be in the next 5 years, you think you will move with the current, you move with the people, and you are not happy within you. Joy is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Now, in this first level, first P of leadership, there are 3 laws of leadership which you need to have. And I want us to go through those 3 laws. So the first law, I'll give you the 3 laws so that we go through them together. The law of the lead, L-I-D. The law of the lead, kifuniko. The law of the lead. The law of process, lead, L-I-D. Number 2, the law of process and the law of navigation. There are 3 laws. 3 laws. 3 laws. And before I do that, it's important you notice this. A book written by John C. Maxwell, The 15 Invariable Laws of Growth. You're wondering how many books I've read, Several. The 15 Invariable Laws of Growth. The first law, he calls it the law of intentionality. And that's where I want to start from. Because for you to adopt the laws of leadership, you must be intentional. Moving intentionality means growth will not just happen. It has to be made to happen. You have to do something for growth to happen. You see, in nature, we go shift, then naturally the hair will grow. Even here, Samson ilikuwa. Another one, we are born, we notice that you can't keep on crawling. It will be crawling time, then starting, then walking, then running, right? True. In school life, you start with prep, you go to primary, right? Then you go to secondary, then you go to tertiary, right? It is actually sequence, it's sequential, right? Now in life, we don't wait for things to happen in our lives. We create things in our own lives. If you want to grow, you have to be intentional. You have to shift from accidental to intentional. You have to decide this is what I want and this is the way I will take, then do what you're supposed to do and you will grow. Growth is intentional. It is not accidental. It is not by laying of hands. It is not by prayers. It is by doing something. After you are done with the prayers, wake up and do something. Stand and go do something. Now, where do I pick this one from the Bible? God decided to give the children of Israel manna. But he did not take the manna in the houses. Every man had to wake up every day to get out of the camp and get the manna from outside. Intention. And the moment young people change their wishes from their wishes to intents, that's the beginning of change. Book by John C. Maxwell, Today Matters. He says, the reason why we do not achieve our yearly goals is because we do not value our minute. We have very big dreams about our new year resolution. By the end of the year, I want to do this. What is your daily agenda? You have a yearly agenda. What do you want to do every day to make sure by the end of the week you have accomplished this much? Because you cannot say you are going to Kisumu and you are doing nothing about going to Kisumu. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So you start now, and where you are, start doing something. I don't know what we are waiting for a strange feeling to come for you to start doing something. Or you are waiting for an angel with the white wings to come and tell you this is the way you need to follow. Excuse me. For you to conquer in this life, you are either an early adopter or you are an innovator. Hiyo si ngumu, ni rahisi. Nimesema, for you to be successful in this life, you either innovate something, so you innovate it and you ukule before watu waanze kuimimic. You become an innovator or you are an early adopter. Early adopter means pick somebody's idea and run with it. You get the point? So 2 things. Those are very important things. So I'm saying this because for us to grow, you have to be intentional. Decide today is the day and I'm making a turnaround. I want to start something. I saw a lady selling, I don't know whether they are wigs or they are weaves. I don't know the difference anyway. Wigs and weaves. Then somebody asked, what's the price of one? The lady said it's 75,000. Na akamwandikia hapo, I can discount. Nitoe 5,000 nikuuzie 70,000. The one who had asked, una ya 500? Are you getting, you're getting the thing? And when I probed further, the lady said she did not start the business of selling those wigs and weaves with money. Alipatiwa 5, akauza, akapeleka pesa. You're getting the point? Akapeleka pesa, akaenda akalipa, akasema si nimeuza, si unipatie singine. Sasa akalipa deposit. So hivyo akakuwa nini? Akakuwa pro, mnaita pro. Akapata form. Because alianza. But you are waiting for a feeling. Kindly drop that feeling. Pona. Drop the feeling. Now, there are 8 misconceptions about growth I want to highlight here. 8 misconceptions. You are saying I can't be intentional because number one is it's an assumption gap. You assume. I assume that I will automatically grow. Yani itakuja tu. Wakati wa Mungu ukifika, nobody can refuse. You are assuming. Don't assume. Growth will not come automatically. Number 2, it is the knowledge gap. Knowledge gap, I mean, I don't know how to grow. I don't know where to start. Just start where you are. Knowledge gap. 3, timing gap. It is not now. This is not the right time. Procrastination is a big disease. You want to do it tomorrow. There's a disease called tomorrow. Somebody said that it's a joke. Jesus was crucified between 2 thieves. Yesterday and tomorrow. Did you get the joke? Number 4, the mistake gap. I am afraid of making mistakes. I don't want to risk. What will people say if I fail? I said if you fail forward. Next, the perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. I have to do research, due diligence. Yes, do it. Do it. But wherever there is too much knowledge, there is no thriving. Yes, actually, where people have done a lot of research and you know the pros and cons, people never succeed there. People only succeed in murky waters. And that's why you see this. This one is very important. The perfection gap. Why is it that when you put a boutique somewhere, you will see 3 more people coming to open in the same place? They don't want to try anything new. They want to do what they have seen people lining up at your shop, so they want to share that with you because it has been tried and tested. That is what is killing us. And that's why we can't even comprehend the bottom up. Because it has not been tested, it has not been used anywhere else, so we think it is an animal. You're getting the point? I'm not a politician and I can't be. The inspirational gap. This is the worst. I don't feel like doing it. So if you don't feel like doing it, you not live. I don't feel like doing it. I once had my brother telling me that I don't want long life. I want short Chinese life. Small, short, and sweet. I asked him, what do you mean? He told me, why should I live so many years when suffering? I just pray God to give me few years, but years which have money. Money. I enjoy. Even if it means 5 years, I enjoy. That is enough instead of living 120 years with nothing. I concur with him. You know, life is not years. Life is the impact. Methuselah lived, and what is recorded in the Bible he did was only begotten. There was no impact. His grandchild, the grandchild of Canaan, the one who built this place called what? Nineveh, Nimrod. He has more impact than Methuselah, who lived 900 and, many years, the oldest man. Doing what? We need to have impact. So don't wait for that strange feeling like for you to do it. Most of the things which are successful in life are things we did when we were not feeling like doing. Yes. The comparison gap. That's number 7. Comparison gap. Others are better than I am. I can't match up to the standards. I come from the least of the families. You know Gideon's story? Yeah? My family is the least. We have never achieved this in our family. Comparison gap. In our village, nobody has ever got beyond this level. 8, and the final one is expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. When your expectations, we talked about expectations? Did we? No. Expectation gap, when you expect the ride will be easy. You need to brace yourself and know that it's like a battle. You are getting into battle. Remember, you are fighting with the forces of nature. And therefore, you need to be careful. The 3 laws. Did I give you the law of the lead? Law of the lead. The law of the lead. We say this, every leader has a lead. Level yake. Capacity to lead. L-E-A-D. Capacity. You have your capacity. There is a level there is a deposit in each one of us. And that deposit is not equal in measure. It's not equal in measure. We say the levels of leadership, those measures are what we call the lead. For you to move from one lead to the other, L-I-D, kifuniko moja mpaka ingine, for you to lead, L-E-A-D, from one level to the other, I'm not confusing anybody. Ndio utoke kwa kifuniko moja mpaka ingine, na kwa uongozi moja hadi mwingine, kifuniko lazima iondolewe. That lead has to be removed. L-I-D, it has to be removed. Number 1 way of removing a lead is through appointment. When I appoint you, you had not noticed you can become a leader. I have already removed that barrier from your side. Now it's you to prove yourself that you can lead. You get the point? Now, I want to go deeper than that. I want actually to go deeper than that. To say that your leadership ability, for better or worse, determines your effectiveness and your potential impact in your organization. I repeat, your leadership ability, for better or worse, determines your effectiveness. I want you to underline the word effectiveness. Because if you are a leader and you are not effective, it means you have less or no impact in what you are doing. To reach the highest level of effectiveness, you have to raise your lead. Kifuniko lazima iinuke. So as you grow, you remember that story of the donkey which was thrown by the owner in the pit. And that donkey was to be buried. And they say, I don't know whether it's true, they say as the owner was covering the donkey with the soil, the donkey will always shake itself and step on the soil. So the farmer thinks, I'm burying it. But it was a seed of God, I think I heard on Sunday yesterday, that even if you then iweke mchanga, bado itachipuka. And then I saw another post on Facebook the other day that they buried me, they didn't know I was a potato, so I germinated. Oh, okay, you guys hamukuona hiyo. So as you lead, you need to move levels. And I was saying, you grow from one level to the other. You don't remain the way you are leading 5 years ago. We need to see some change. We need to see some graduation. We need to see some improvement in your leadership skills. So leads are removed. Vifuniko zinaondolewa. Leads are removed. Then, the law of the lead, basically, leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Effectiveness, the higher you want to climb, the more you need leadership. So, if you want to go higher, you need more leadership. It is directly proportional. Your height, your level of elevation, your level of influence, your level of effectiveness requires more leadership. So if you are growing, your level of leadership needs to be higher. And last time I said this, Jesus gave an example of the wine and the wineskin. And he said, you can never put new wine in old wineskins. Why? You need new wine in new wineskins, because as the new wine is expanding, as is fermenting and increasing, then the body, the capacity has also to expand. But if it does not expand, if it is old wineskin, it will break off and it will waste the wine. So effectiveness in leadership is brought by us lifting our leads in leadership. The one, success without leadership, you're there. It goes, success, dedication goes until 8. So you have put effort to level 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, 80% effort. Dedication, commitment, you have done it. But when your level of leadership is at 1 out of 10, I want you to get me the area. How many boxes are there? Count the boxes. There are 8 boxes, right? For every element of commitment, you increase 1 unit. In what? In your efficiency. Check the next one. Just check the next one. The next one shows you the same level of dedication, the same level of commitment, but a leadership which is going to the level of 6. Can you count the squares? Get me the area. Six times 8. 48. Right? Now, look here. They have put in the same effort, same dedication. Let's even say it's 8 hours. 8 hours. But what differs is the level of leadership. The one with 1 gave us 8 units of efficiency. Their return back, their saving back was 8. But the second one with 6, level of leadership high, and the same amount of effort, same amount of work, same amount of hours, same amount of prayers, same brains, same intelligence, same. But with the level of leadership 6, gave us a return of 48. What makes the difference? Now, why is it that I've not moved between 8 and 10? There is something in economics we call the law of diminishing returns. It means it is very easy for me to go until 8. The remaining 2, you require more energy, more effort to accomplish than these others. That's why you realize this. You have moved your small business from one level to the other. It reaches a point it stagnates. The law of diminishing returns. As you go higher, you require more effort to gain 1 unit, not just like how you started. So you need something. That's what I'm calling removing the leads. If you remove the lead of, now you see it's very easy. Instead of killing yourself, wearing yourself out, trying to acquire these two which are remaining on the dedication, because you can't give yourself 1%. Let's give ourselves 80, up to 8 out of 10. Now you say, my level of leadership was on 1. I want in the next 1 year to increase until level 3. You will have increased your efficiency more than you would have increased by just dedicating yourself to cover those two, which of course you will not achieve. You can't go 100% in dedication. People will always see your gaps, your mistakes. You cannot please people 100%. But with the level of leadership, this is what we say in leadership. We say this: just like love covers a multitude of sins, leadership capability and ability covers a multitude of mistakes. Now, the law of the lead, lifting the lead experiences, lifting experiences to grow in their leadership capacity. You seek opportunities which are able to lift your leads. Seek for opportunities. Seek for opportunities. Nowadays, there are so many talks. There are so many people talking about leadership. There are so many books about leadership. Seek for an opportunity. If you hear there is a camp, go for it. I was sharing with somebody, the missions I did when I was younger, I can't do them now. I can't. I can do differently, but I can't do them now. Whatever you are doing right now, young man, whatever you are doing now, next year time, like same time, you will not be able to do exactly what you are doing. You see how? Times change. And therefore embrace the changes in your life. Number 2, after you seek, search. Kama haipatikani, you know the song we sing, ni metafuta kote kote. Search, tafuta, fungua macho, search. Search for opportunities of growth even where there are no opportunities for growth. Then, after you seek, you have sought, searching, then says, take it, grab it. You know there are people who lose opportunities as they look at them. I love how Ben Githai says, yeye alienda harusi. Akaona, alikuwa mtoto. Akaona watu wanakula cake. Yeye akaitisha cake, akakula. So jamaa wenye hawakuitisha cake haikufika kwao. So yeye anasema alitoka harusi akiwa amekula cake. Eli kunjiongea instead ya kunyamaza. Now, the next thing, I'm still on it. Ineffective leaders will wait to see what happens during these times. They wait to see. So any leader who is ineffective, they will never seize the opportunity. They wait. Wanangojea. So waiting means what? You have missed the opportunity to do what? To grow. Because we said you are either an innovator or an early adopter. So if you wait, utakuwa kama dinosaur. Dinosaur ilisema, hii moto inakuja kitu rahisi. Nitapitia hapo. Ikaamua kupitia huko ndani. Those are mates. So don't wait. Do something. Run for your life. Otherwise you become extinct like the dinosaur. Contact. Nokia. We talked about these things the other time. Effective leaders will act by seizing the moment and will rise to the challenge. I love challenges because they are opportunities for growth. When you are given something, say, I take it. Don't say, I've never been a leader. Take it. The law of the lead. Every leader has leads. Kila mkiongozi akona kifuniko. There is a level which you either remove the lead or somebody else removes the lead. Or you stagnate there. Titles and possessions do not eliminate leads. Titles and possessions never eliminate leads. The issue is not do you have leads, but what are you going to do about them? Everybody has leads, not do you have. No, it's how do we remove these leads? What do we do with them? What are the leads that leaders face? Number 1, you can have a lead of fear. Fear, uoga. Yani ni phobia tu uko nayo mbele ya kusimama mbele ya watu. Fear. You may be impatient. You may be in denial. You may be impassive. jealous, the one we were talking about. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's confidence. You need to build your confidence. You see, if I give an example of confidence, how do you build your confidence? You see, if you are not confident, it means, number one, it is a lead. It's something which is sitting on you. You can't raise your level of leadership. And the moment you gain confidence, now your leader has been removed. Confidence. Did you know even how you dress exudes confidence? Number one, if you are ready and you are putting flat shoes, confidence iko down kabisa. Put on high heels so that you command presence. Yes, especially if you want to become a good usher. I'll tell you, I don't encourage people to come ushering in flat shoes. It is high heels. Command presence. Command. Na isikuwe ni ile imeinama. Command presence. Ile tall kabisa. Command presence. Command presence. So that when they look at you, you know in yourself umejijenga, umejibuild. Mtu akikwambia uko smart useme aje mimi. Kuna mwingine niliambia tukiwa conference mahali, you are very smart. Na ya mtumba. Excuse me, confidence is very important. Who has whether ni ya mtumba? As long as imefuliwa vizuri, na alafu imekuwa pressed vizuri, who cares? Actually some mitumba things we can't even afford. Si ni kweli? The other time I saw a brownish suit kwa mtumba when I was selling hiyo mitumba kamera. Nikaikamata. Kukamata nikaitishwa 4,000 kwa kamera kununua. Nikatoa. Unajua niliuza pesa ngapi? You know how much I sold it for? 26K. Brown, yes, brown when it's new it's 175. Okay. Yes. So, seize the opportunities. Confidence never comes through laying of hands. You have to work it out. Stir yourself up. Yani hata tembea usiku. You know when we started preaching, we used to preach to the banana leaves and trees. You are preaching. And you think unafikiria tulikuwa tunapenda sana kwenda Arboretum. No, eti I have a preaching tomorrow ati niko Arboretum naomba. Nilikuwa naenda rehearsal. Confidence. And I had Kimuli is Reverend Kimuli saying every time he's scribing the altar, and he has preached for over 30 years, he still feels the fear within. He still feels the fear within. Then namuuliza mbona una feel fear na hii kitu? Ananiambia teaching is unajijenga. Confidence lazima ipande. Na unaweza panda hapa upate shida kubwa sana. Because confidence ikikuvuta chini umeisha. Na nasikia bishop anasema encourage to see encourage and build the confidence. Akishashika confidence, my friend, atakuwa kama power suit. Another one is lack of knowledge. If you lack knowledge, kama ni knowledge una lack, build yourself by removing that lead. Get the knowledge by reading. Get exposed. Get informed. Another one is people's perception of them. What will people say about me? What are they thinking about me? So you need a leader who can lift a lead. Leaders can lift leads. You know that? I can make sure you are confident, or I can actually make sure your self-esteem is poked and you don't have an image of yourself. People with a low self-esteem can never have confidence in front of people. So work on your self-esteem first before you work on your confidence. You know, self-esteem is the value you attach to yourself. How do you see yourself in your own eyes? Do you see yourself like a grasshopper? Do you see yourself like you can make it? Do you see yourself like a failure? Do you have a face in front of yourself before you have a face in front of other people? Build yourself up. So once you build yourself up, then you are already becoming a leader. I said the next one was which one? Process. Process. It is actually linked to that. Process means honor the process. Process means you cannot be born today and tomorrow you are the president. It is a process. Honor that process and also allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to grow. Don't actually harass yourself too much. Don't give too many demands on yourself which you cannot achieve. Even you hata unjipatie time. Somebody said you see somebody doing this, you want to do it now and then you can start. But don't be like them. Kwa Mungu hakuna chapati eti zinatokanga the same zote. You need to be unique. Grow yourself. And growth takes time. It's not instant. See, microwave, it's not instant. It will take time. Honor that process. Honor the process. And finally, navigation. The law number 3 was navigation. Navigation means what? Navigation has 2 elements. One is starting off and then staying on course. Navigation. So, are you on course? Have you started? Number 1 question is, have you started? Navigate. Are you moving towards the direction? Because it takes a leader to steer the ship. It takes a leader to chart the course. I said and I repeat here, people sometimes move very fast, run very fast, but in the wrong direction. Unapata mtu amekimbia mbio hata si yake. The 7, 8, and 9 laws of lame leadership. We read until 6. So I'll read you 7, 8, and 9. The law of recognition. The law of recognition. Have something to prove. Use your organization to prove it and win the acceptance of your peers. See a win as earning the respect and admiration of your colleagues. Make sure the movers and shakers in your industry know who you are. That is the law of recognition. We talked about it today. People who are, their mind is, who is recognizing. The other one is the law of aloof. Aloof. A-L-O-O-F. Aloof. The one we were talking about, loneliness. Be hard to find. Ukitafuta hata usipatikane. Create some mystery around your persona. Enigma. Disappear for hours at a time. Hata car offline. Simu zote siende off. Tell yourself that by being unavailable to people, they will assume that you are really busy and doing very important things. Number 9, law number 9, the law of the last minute, and this the last one. The law of the last minute. Consistently come up with brilliant ideas at the last minute and get your team to implement them for the sake of the vision. Call it doing whatever it takes. Do this regularly. Do it with the damn ideas also. Try the last minute. Let all the people give their ideas, but bring yours the last minute and let it be implemented by sacrificing all the other ideas. Thank you very much.